Hey everybody, welcome back. In this episode, we're going to look at another way to send information through a URL. Last video or previous videos, we looked at parameters, which are typically used for sending an ID, and if not an ID, some identifier of some sort, typically to spot one out of many. Now, a query string or URL queries are another way to send information, and this is typically to send filtering information or filtering criteria, so that you running the server can say, give me all the movies except only send the movies whose genre is action. So we send that sub-collection. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to add to our movie router the ability to find movies by genre. The syntax for a query string goes as follows. The query string starts where the endpoint ends. So our endpoint will be /movies, and then we'll start the query string with a question mark. Then any filtering criteria we have will be sent as key value pairs, and if we have more than one key value pair we need to send, we just need to separate it with an ampersand. Okay, let's see how this is implemented. So in our movie router file here, we will create another get route, but this will be get by genre. Now there's something we need to consider here. I'm already using / and / something, so I can't use that on this file for another GET request because that endpoint will never be triggered. So my two options are either to craft a brand new endpoint that's / something / something else, or build it into my GET all route, the ability to search by genre. For the sake of example, we'll just build a bigger endpoint for practice, but just know that you can implement this into your basic GET route when appropriate. Alright, so we'll say movie router.get. In this case, we'll need to say something like search to make a brand new endpoint / genre. So this is saying this is the GET request to search by genre is the way that I'm crafting it. And we need to see how this is constructed, so we'll go to Postman. But before we do, I'm going to console.log rec, because we're going to come back here and look at this request object again to see where the information went. Alright, so here's the request to / movies. Let's extend onto it our new endpoint, so /movies /search /genre, and we're going to end the endpoint and begin a query string, so question mark, and we're looking for all genres that are action movies. Okay, let's send the request so we can see our console log. Alright, here's the request object, and if we scroll up again, back to where params were, we'll see params was empty, we didn't send any, but rec.query is also an object, and it has a .genre equal to action. So rec.query.genre is what the user is sending to us in this endpoint. So in here I will say const genre equals rec.query.genre. And for the sake of what we're doing right now, this is going to equal action. So now we need to filter through our array of movies and only return an array of movies whose genre is action. So we should really only get Die Hard back. Alright, so the higher order array method we'll be using for this is filter. So we'll say const filtered movies equals movies dot filter, and only return the movie if the movies.genre matches the genre we received through the rec.query object. Now I want to take a brief side note here and mention all of this code that we've been writing in the routes. This is going to be replaced once we learn Mongoose and MongoDB. Right now we're just manipulating this fake data, and it's fun to kind of learn these routes this way, but just know that Mongoose will do most of this heavy lifting for you. So we'll be learning methods later on that do a lot of this heavy work. We just tell it what to do and it sends it back. But this is still a really good exercise in logic and working out the logic, the vanilla way. Alright, back to what we were doing. We have our filtered movies collection, so we will res.send the filtered movies by genre. Okay. Let's go back and test this out. So again, movies, search genre, genre is action, we'll send, and we get Die Hard. Perfect. Well, I know we had some fantasy ones there as well, so let's change this to fantasy and try that as well. Perfect. All right, so hopefully the gears are spinning a little bit. If not, imagine when this would be useful. Almost every site you go to, especially like e-commerce or anything with products, you need a way to filter down what you're looking for. It wouldn't make sense to send all millions of items to Amazon's front end, as soon as someone logs on the page, it's only requesting the things that are needed to load for the user. So queries, parameters, crafting good endpoints, these are all ways of sending this specific data the user is requesting at that time. All right, get yourself a little bit of practice with this, and when you're ready, let's move on to the next video.